Welcome back to another Questions with Mike. Recently, I had a young man come on a consult with me and he wanted to talk about strategy. Now, strategy is the what to do and the tactics of how to do it. And I don't get consults like this very often, but generally it's when people are stuck or when people's parents will reach out to me and say, please can you speak to my son or my daughter because they just seem to not be doing very much and I'm worried about them. And the problem that he was having was that he was feeling really anxious about getting a job. He is just starting the last year at university. And he said, I know what I want to do and I know what I have to do, but I just can't seem to get started. I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling really anxious, and I watched your videos and I just thought, do you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to book a call with you because nothing else really seems to be working. And I shared with him some basic stuff, many of the steps that I've gone through. But most importantly, I shared some stuff which I have learnt from probably reading this book so many times the cover's fallen off. And it's called Atomic Habits and it's by James Clear. Now really importantly, I didn't get better at stuff by reading a book. I got better at stuff by using the knowledge that I learned and applying it in my daily life. And I want to share with you a really simple trick which has worked with me and with numerous other people to do different things, whether that be to get a job, to make money, to lose weight, to find a partner. And it's just called the 5-minute rule. I think James Clear called it the 2-minute rule, but it's something that is really simple, but I think if you're in the same position as this young man, you can use it to your advantage. Now, imagine that you are overweight. As I was 7 or 8 years ago, I was about four stone heavier than I am now, and I got told that I was pre-diabetic and that if I didn't change my lifestyle, that I would get diabetes. And I had sufficient motivation to not get diabetes because an ex-girlfriend of mine, her dad had diabetes and I saw it firsthand. I spent a lot of time in the family household and he was miserable, like seriously miserable. He was really overweight. Whenever his sugar levels would crash, he'd get really irritable, really angry, and he was a nice guy, but I just thought, God, I really don't want to be diabetic. Now, when I came home after that appointment with the nurse who went through my bloods, I thought, do you know what, I want to run. But what had happened before is I tried to go running before and I would get injured. I would try and run like 5k straight away because I'd been much fitter when I was younger, and I'd get winded, I'd get really disheartened, and I just thought, oh, like bollocks to this. And then I just wouldn't do it. And I'd go back to the things that were helping me gain weight, which was eating loads of takeaways. I had quite a stressful job at the time. I was running somebody's business for them. And I started to feel really depressed because I thought, oh my God, if I don't lose weight, then I'm just going to die. Like I'm going to get diabetes or I'm going to have a really miserable life, because I'd known people who'd gotten seriously overweight. So I created, number one, I did something which Tony Robbins talks about, which is I created a scenario where I thought, what will happen if I continue to do what I'm doing now? Say you're watching this and you really want to get a job. Maybe you're a graduate and you've just graduated, or you are in university and you're thinking about that time coming to an end, or you're a professional and you're just really not enjoying your job, and every day you go in and you think, fuck, I really hate this. I'm really not liking this. I want to make a change. But then you find that you just can't get started. You can't get things done. Well, a really simple tonic to that is to think, well, what's going to happen? Well, you know, if I don't have a job, you know, I just won't have any money, and then no one's going to want to date me. I'm going to get really depressed. I'm not going to be able to do all the things that I want to do. My friends are going to think that I'm a loser. Now, I'm not saying all of this to be horrible, because I've been through the same thing myself. The reason why I'm saying this is because sometimes it's not enough to say, oh, you know, I just don't want to do it. Because ultimately, motivation is bullshit, right? So I tend to be driven by pain. I'm driven by fear. That tends to be a really good motivator for me. Now, the second part is a lot of people, when I talk to them, why they can't get started is because they've got this huge to-do list. So what happens is, every day they wake up and they say, here's 3 things that I'm going to do today. Then say they do none of those things. They, kind of do their day-to-day stuff and they watch a bit of Netflix and they go to sleep. Then they wake up the next day and they go, oh shit, I haven't done the 3 things that I wanted to do yesterday and I've got 3 other things that I want to do. So I've got 6 things. Now play that forward a week and now you've got 20 things on your to-do list. Now your to-do list is just looking like a mountain that seems impossible to climb. So then you basically just stop doing things at all and stop adding stuff to the to-do list. Now in my 20s, I used to be a serial procrastinator and I was always trying to find a new system to do stuff. How can I get more done? Well, I spent so much time planning and preparing to do stuff that I didn't actually fucking do anything. So, I was just kind of like, shifting the deck chairs around on the Titanic, thinking it was going to make a difference. So what I did instead, and what I really liked, I absolutely love Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I think it is hands down the best book ever written about habit formation, because it's very simple, it's very clear and easy to understand. And what I like is it was very quick to put into practice. And one of the things that it talked about was making things simple. So what I did when I wanted to lose weight was I found a system that worked. So I wanted to run and I knew what I wanted to do and I knew the goal that I wanted to get to. And I found a system that already worked, because you don't have to figure it out yourself. You don't have to do it all yourself. You can just find something that you believe is legitimate and use it. And luckily for me, it was free. It was called Couch to 5K. And what it was a free app from the NHS, and every 3 times a week, it would give you a designated amount of time when you would walk and you would run. And I followed that to the letter. I didn't deviate. Because another one of my really bad habits or forms of self-sabotage, I think, yeah, this seems fine, but I actually think that I could do it better or do it faster, or, and it always went wrong. So I promised myself that I would stick to it. And actually at that point, I was doing something which is from Tim Ferriss called the slow carb diet. And my reward was that if I did my 3 slots of exercise a week and I did the slow carb diet, Monday to Friday, Saturday I got a cheat day. And that was built into the diet, where I could really go out, I could enjoy myself, and I could have some nice things. Because again, if you're a type A personality, it's really easy for you to just do stuff without reward, and then funnily enough, the brain just goes, this is really shit and hard and we never seem to get a break, so I don't want to do this anymore. It is important to recognise our own accomplishments. So I encourage you to do that with anything you're trying to do. Say you want to read a book, you want to read a book a week. Okay, cool. Well, could you read a sentence today? Say you want to apply for a job. Cool. Could you open your CV on your computer and look at it for 2 minutes with a timer? Now you might say, Mike, what have these ridiculously easy things got to do with the thing that I want to do? And basically, getting started is about forming habits. It's not about results in the beginning. And I can attest to this from pretty much doing 11 years of what is basically performance coaching. So taking somebody who is incredibly talented and on paper should be getting results and is not getting results, and then turning them around so that they get results. And a lot of that came from just basic daily habit formation. So the trick here is just take whatever you want to do, make it as simple and so simple, so easy that it's just laughable. You think a child could do that. Because then you're going to do that, and if you do that for a week, I guarantee you're not just going to read the sentence in a book. You're not just going to stare at your CV for 2 minutes. You're going to do more, and before you know it, you will be achieving way more than you thought was possible, simply because you started off doing something which was laughably simple and easy to do.